Okay, so back now after having just sprayed it. I want you to look at this. Tell me how that could be any prettier. See how that is? Let's look at that into the light. Do you see any reason to sand anything? Some people think that you got to sand the edges of the tapes off, and why would you do that on a Cub whenever that's what a Cub is all about, right? It's a fabric airplane, that's what makes it cool. I'll go over it again with my hand, and I'll rub everywhere. And if there's any roughness, like I said before, if you spray the poly spray on too dry, if you come too far away, for example, up here, or you don't get it wet enough when you're spraying it, then it can get, because there are actually silver particles in here, it can actually get a little rough in places. If that happens, just take a little very light sandpaper and just sand the rough areas down. I can feel one little spot right here. I'll go ahead and sand that down, even though it's so small that the top coat paint will probably cover it up. A little something right there, but the best way to do is just feel it. But look at it. You know, because the prep, everything in painting is prep work. Paint doesn't take any time to do. But if you have to go back and redo stuff, sand and grind or whatever. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that. I'm not gonna do any sanding on this. All I'm gonna do is go back over, make sure, because we did spray this poly spray, which has MEK, it could lift some of these edges, but I very seldom find any that lift at this point, because I've really gotten them in good into the polyfiber with that edge with the iron. You cannot put an iron on this. If you put an iron on this now, absolutely just slightly touching it will melt the poly spray. So right now you're sanding if you have to do anything. If you've got a tape that comes up, you can sand it, or somebody said you could get some kind of one of those protective like Teflon sheets and put down on top, and then so the heat goes through it, put the iron on top and try it. But in any case, I'm just gonna go back over. I'm gonna let this actually dry for a few hours, and then I'm gonna go ahead. They say it's 2 hours minimum between coats to let it gas off. But if I can get this, but it's best, I usually let it go overnight, but in this case, I'm kind of in a hurry because I'm catching up with the wings on my build, so I'm almost ready to put wings on. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait a few hours, mess around here in the hangar, doing some things, and then I'm gonna come back in a few hours, couple of hours, I'm gonna spray my second coat on it, and then this wing will just go out of the way, and it will set for a week before I put the top coat on it. So that's it, man. Have fun.